saying? They be doing all the word acrobatics and shit, you feel me? And they do it with the best of them, alright? They be fighting it, you know, making it happen with the words, you know, being battles and shit, you know what I'm saying? They tight. They are originally from Philly, and they out here visiting us in New York City, y'all. I want y'all to make some noise for Kai David!
The other one, you operate, you celebrate, you under oath. I take a side, let's go.
How y'all doing?
Yes!
So I would like this to be a kind of choose your own adventure set real quick. So if you want me to start angry, and I mean I'm also bringing in Scorpio energy by the way. So if you want to start angry and end erotic, make some noise. If you want to start erotic and end angry, make some noise. Okay, so I think we're starting angry and ending erotic. Okay.
1 second, wait till they clarify. Bring him in, Kai, bring him in.
Ear? Is that appropriation since I'm from Philly? I don't even know. Real quick, so I'm going to tell you a story. I feel like this is a safe space. I feel like every single person of color has had an instance in which they just, well, you know, like maybe your hot dog bun fell apart, maybe there was no honey for your Popeyes biscuit, and then you were like, yo, I just wish one white person would just try me today, so I just have an excuse to fight. So that happened, but I didn't take the opportunity. I was walking in Queens. Anyone from Queens? I don't even know if that's a thing. No, I'm not trying to throw shade. I just didn't know if people from Brooklyn, people come to, anyway. I was walking in Queens. And I have my hair in a bun. I have a lot of hair, so when I have my hair in a bun, it's high. And I was walking past these two old white ladies, let's say Margaret and Barbara. And one of the ladies pointed to me and was like, Margaret, look at that. Pointed at me. And I hadn't been having a good day. I mean, I was in Queens. So I was pretty upset at the time. And so and then like a couple days later, I was in Ithaca, New York. And then I had this white lady I was supposed to be checking into this hotel. And I set my foot on the pavement, like out of the car to go check in. And she was like, oh, we're all booked up. I was like, is this Alabama? Like, what the fuck is going on? No shade to Alabama. But then I go into the room and then she was just like, oh, okay, because you do have a reservation here. And at that time I was like, yo, I've had too many instances where I could have beat a white person's ass and I didn't take it, so I wrote a poem instead. So if you feel me, you know, make some noise. Okay? I coil more than a pound of hair atop my head until my locks are a steeple. I flatten silk along my edges to put my babies to sleep. Each nap is a holy relic. Then a white woman stops mid-breath to gawk, taps her friend and points at me, and she calls me that. And I imagine her blood dampening my socks. I imagine the cotton turning burgundy, the thick wetness of it, the stink. I want to show her a stack of calendars that date back to 2001 and make her chew every page, teach her what it means to toil over a precious thing. I want my fists wrist deep in her gaping mouth. I want her to swallow her own teeth instead of the bones of my ancestors. And I want each bit of flesh to hit the concrete and spell out a black woman's name. And I want to choke and stuff her with a bushel of barrettes, bobos, beads, and ballies. I want them to sprout into poplar trees. I want the roots to take up all the space in her veins. And I want to choke her without a noose. And I want her to call it violence. Because naming shit makes shit real. Because shit is real. Because I've earned it. Because this is not a poem about my hair. When I snap, because a white woman looked at me sideways, her blood will not be a consequence of her white gaze. Her blood will be a less than fair trade for the blood still swirling in the Atlantic, for the blood that rose to steam from the Mississippi heat, for the blood that gushed from bitten tongue, for the blood that charred before it could drip. When I kill that bitch, they won't care. I won't care that they called me angry, because bitch I am. If I kill that bitch, 5 generations of her family gotta die on their way to her funeral before anyone can say I overreacted, before I can call it reparations. Because when a white woman points at me and calls me that's history pointing at me and saying, all your trauma is not enough, and your daddy's trauma is not enough, that I still got to prove that I am not a thing. Because I'm up for discussion, even when I'm walking alone, and I don't want white people turning my body into a talking point when they already took my body 1,000,000 times. All I have left is a fear of salt water, an empty space where my last name should be in these hands. So square the fuck up. So flowing out of anger and into joy, it'd be like that sometimes. I wrote this poem last September. It was my first time actually realizing that I was not depressed anymore. And who knows if that's actually true. I know we go through like phases and things wax and things wane. But I had a moment where I was like, I'm actually okay. And I had to write about it because I feel like as artists we don't often write into joy because we're so focused on unpacking trauma and depression, and we need to analyze it to understand it, to move through it. And joy is something that just happens to us that we kind of just let happen and we don't really sit with it. So this is that poem. This is the part where the trap music comes on and I don't fall into a shallow hole. Where the bed is made and the sheets are clean and my nose stops bleeding. When my friends ask where I've been and I say anywhere, but they welcome me back tight into a warm chest. Where I sing at the mirror and flick my own nipple. I mean, this is a new door. I mean, a happy funeral. This is a new tongue on a new pussy, a new and ripe tomato. A new autumn wind tugging me back tight into a warm chest. I mean, this is a new reason to cry. A new posture, a new laughter. My therapist says, congratulations. My toxic ex is still furious. My coffee has sugar and so do my mornings, please. It took me so long to get here. The quiet in my stomach had wrung me dry, and this is new rain. The first time every day does not feel like an emergency. I sleep in and do not answer your calls for a new reason. I brush my teeth before bed. Nah, I'm chilling. None of my dreams are nightmares. My hair is uncoiling and I still look pretty. I am the god of my own blood. I command my veins to keep ringing. I mean, this is the part where I'm better. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Time to end erotic. That's not how I usually start sex, by the way. I don't say that. But I recently was invited to perform this poem at a queer wedding, which was awesome. And I was like, they did a whole like black feminist politic wedding. It was incredible. And I wrote this poem after Audre Lorde's essay, "The Erotic is Power." This is "The Erotic is Black Power." Here it is. Let's get sexy.
Yeah.
I feel most perfect when I first wake up. Spread myself across the bed, the roundness of my body filling the empty space, the terrain of any grown hair, stretch marks and scar tissue, the sun running its rosy fingers across my back, my tongue ripe and swollen in my mouth. Part of me wakes up knowing that I have to, all of me, opens the curtains wide, stands naked before a busy street and dares you to touch me. And this is where I draw my strength in embracing a black woman, even if it's me. I'm a queer woman always scraping my way out of someone else's narrative. rewriting commandments every time I sink into someone else's body. I've never lost my skin in another woman's bed. When I give my flame, it is only to light her candle. I have never run out of myself. The only thing I'll ever lose is my breath and my sweat and my spit pouring over clit like warm honey. If I fucked you, then I loved you, and I mean that. It's not because you are black or a woman. It's because you are a black woman. It's because there are systems and prisons I cannot crowbar you out of, histories I cannot revise, salt water I cannot drink, but I can coil my fingers around your naps, rub oil in your aching back, place my hands on your tired feet and try to help you survive the journey home. Even if I can barely make it there myself, even if there's no moon in the sky to wax me to shore, I want to know at least one of us endured the day. Being a queer black woman is both a privilege and an obligation. To not distinguish between loving myself and loving you, touching myself and touching you, this is the erotic as power, the sex and the conversation afterwards, vulnerable and three kinds of open. This is the type of shit that'll make a straight man nervous, make a dark side street a 5-lane highway with the moon back in the sky. This is why he can never make you come, where our bed is a libation offering. This is more than just physical. This is spiritual, ancestral, and political. If we kiss, it's a protest. If we fuck, it's a revolution. If we fall in love, it is divinity. It is righteous, and it is beautiful. Thank you. That's it for me. You can follow me at Kai Davis Poet. That's K-A-I Davis Poet. I also have a book for sale that I forgot to bring, but you can buy it at KaiDavisPoetry.com. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Kai is pretty fucking amazing. A house